Hello to one and all here today. We all love to listen to stories, don't we? Yes, indeed. This evening we have with us Miss Priyanka Chatterjee, who's going to take us to a wonderful storyland. Miss Priyanka Chatterjee, aka Golpodidi, is an international story consultant who traveled across the world for her love of stories, from South Africa to Korea, from Rajasthan to Nagaland. Miss Chatterjee is an ardent lover of wild strawberry, and till date, sweetness of her story, Strawberries, has been tasted by more than 1 lakh children and 25,000 adults. Today, we are elated to have Director of Storytelling Education and Arts Indian Council to mesmerize us with her stories.
It's so beautiful.
Miss Chatterjee, the children are waiting for you. Miss Chatterjee.
So beautiful, Timmy. I'm loving your look.
Miss Chatterjee. Hello, Miss Chatterjee.
Timmy, you are not wearing anything. Go, Timmy. Hello, everybody. Yeah. Is it 5 o'clock already? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. Like, I didn't know, and we were like a little bit decking up because you are so special, no? So when we present stories to you, we also have to be very special. I hope you didn't mind. And I hope you are not going to share with anybody what you just saw. Yeah, Timmy was not wearing anything. Timmy, my friend, and she tells stories with me. You know, please, we are really embarrassed and we are really sorry. So, ready to go on a storyland, because Timmy is not going to help me, but I guess I can tell you some stories, few stories. Are you ready to go on a storyland? If yes, show me a thumbs up. That's pretty cool. So, do you know what stories are called in different languages? For example, kahani, yes, right? Golpo in Bengali, Golpo in Oriya, story in some other language, Gosht in Marathi, right? Yes, my friends, we are not going to tell stories in so many different languages, but maybe only that in mind, right? And thank you so much, Nidhi, for presenting me here. And can we have Nidhi on mute so that Golpodidi can take care right now? Yes, thank you so much, Nidhi from HarperCollins. Yes. So we are ready to go on the story land. But as I told you, that I am little forgetful. I haven't prepared my story, which we are not going to share with anybody else, only with you. So whenever I forget my stories, I will need your support. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yes, the boy over there wearing the spectacles, I'm talking to you. And also the girl over there wearing the blue skirt, I'm also referring to you. And that boy over there who is sitting with his drawing book and crayons, I'm also talking to you. Whenever I forget my story, I will tell Sunona. Do you know what Sunona means? It means please, 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 please listen. And you also have to tell, you also have to respond to Sunona. You have to say Kahona. It means please, 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 please tell. So should we practice before we go to the storyland? Yeah, because in between the story, if I forget my story, it's gone. So let's practice, right? Sunona!
Kahuna!
Oh, beautiful. You have such brilliant voices. Let's go. Sunona! Very good going, guys. Sunona. Sunona. Yeah, and this one especially, right? Wow, you are so good even at whispering. I think we now can go to the storyland because I have your support, and with your support, I can tell my stories even if I forget and even if Timmy is not there. Right. So, can you see the story carpet in front of you? Right. Let's brush off the dust because it hasn't been used for quite some time. And let's embark on the journey. And let's fasten our seat belts. We are off, we are going. And which is the land we come? I can see lots and lots of trees, green trees, the long ones, the short ones, the plants, the vines, and even some sprouts here and there. And I can also see a canopy. Do you know what kind of forest I'm referring to? You're right. I'm talking about rainforest. And it can be the rainforest in Amazon, the Amazon rainforest that recently faced a wildfire. And it can be a rainforest in Indonesia, or it can be a rainforest maybe very near to us, Andaman and Nicobar Island in India. I don't know which rainforest it is. It can be somewhere else as well, but it is a rainforest. And in this rainforest, there were lots and lots of plants and trees, as I told, but there were lots and lots of animals as well, herbivores and carnivores. But amongst them, when all of them lived in harmony, that is the time, 1 year, it didn't rain. And when it didn't rain, what started happening? The canopy, it started drying up. The soil, that also started drying up. And the plants and the bushes and the trees, the short ones and the long ones, all of them started drying. And in there were flowers and there were fruits. All of those dried up. So what could have happened to those herbivores and carnivores who will be eating those herbivores? All of them were fasting for a long time. And finally, they decided, this is the time, we should do something about it. Can we ask the wise people from heaven? And that's what they did. And they were suggesting, you know what? There is a magical tree which is right outside the forest. You have to go around maybe 50 miles, just 50 miles, but you can walk 50 miles when you are hungry. Do you know, in our country, also people are right now facing a lot of difficulties because of COVID-19 situation, because of Corona. Many people are facing, this shortage of food and all. So that was the condition in the rainforest then. So all of them decided, okay, so what about the magical tree? You were talking about a magical tree. What if we reach the magical tree? What is the thing we are going to do? And the voice came. And the voice said, what you need to do? You need to know the name of the magical tree. And you need to tell the name of the magical tree not once, not twice, but thrice, 3 times. And then it will start raining. Wow, that's amazing. But we don't need to go together there, right? We can just go. Maybe our representative, just one amongst us. Can we send the rabbit? Because the rabbit is pretty fast. So that's when the rabbit came. Oh, hello, my dear friends. I am going to the forest, and I am going to the magical tree. Bye-bye. And the rabbit went on its way. A wimbowie, 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 a wimbowie. And the rabbit reached the magical tree. And the rabbit asked, magical tree, what is your name? Can you all help me? Together, we ask the magical tree, magical tree, what is your name? The magical tree was sleeping, but it woke up and it said, Awangalima. What kind of a name is that? The rabbit thought, but it's okay. I'm going to remember. You know, my great grandfather, he was so smart that he actually won a race with the tortoise. And the magical tree said, oh, I didn't know that. I knew another version of the story where the tortoise won the race, not the rabbit. Anyway, doesn't matter, said the rabbit. And the rabbit started coming back from the magical tree towards the forest. But did I tell you that while you are going from the forest to the magical tree, it is up the hill. And then it's down the hill. Rather, this way, it is up the hill, right? So what is happening here? When you are coming from the forest to the magical tree, it is down the hill and you can easily slide down. But if you're going back the same way, what is going to happen? You have to huff and you have to puff. You have to huff and you have to puff. You have to huff and you have to puff. So the rabbit decided, rabbit was very smart, as he claimed. So the rabbit decided, okay, I'll go the other way. I know another road where I don't have to go up the hill. It's pretty plain, you know. I will go that way. And I am very smart. In my class, my teacher says I'm smart, so I don't need to practice. That's what the rabbit thought. But does it sometimes happen to you that you have been given one topic and something is taught in the classroom, but then maybe you find that you have already forgotten the same, just like I forget my stories. So ideally, whenever you are learning something, immediately you should practice on the same day or maybe on the next day or maybe at least within a week. But if you're going to do in a month, everything will be gone, right? So the rabbit thought, I don't need all this because I'm pretty smart, you know. So the rabbit came back. He was coming back, and he was coming back not up the hill, rather he was coming back through the plain road where there was an ant hill. He didn't know that. So he was coming and he was not even saying the name of the magical tree. There was the ant hill, and the rabbit came. A wimbowie, 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 a wimbowie. From the anthill, all the ants started coming and they started crawling. They started crawling out. Can I see the ants in your hands? Right, they all started crawling out of the ground and they started crawling through the rabbit's body. They started crawling and they came to its neck and then also to its left hand and to its right hand and finally to its ears and to its eyes, and it shouted, "Ah!" And the rabbit went off. The rabbit was yelling and shouting when the rabbit finally came back in the forest. So everybody asked, Rabbit, can you tell us the name of the magical tree? You were our representative. And what did the rabbit say? The rabbit tried to remember. But by then, it was already bitten by the ants. And moreover, it didn't even practice whatever it has learned. So the rabbit tried to remember. Moko Pochi Maku. So everybody said, okay, that's a weird name, but we will repeat. So first time, can you help me? Moko Pochi Maku. Second time, Moko Pochi Maku. Third time, Moko Pochi Maku, said the elephant. And do you think still it did rain. Because it was not even a proper. It's all gone. Whatever our effort was, it's all gone. And we lost so much time and we are all so hungry, said all the animals. And the monkey came and he said, we have been waiting for this rabbit. Why did you do this? You know, I will go this time and I will show you how fast I can bring the information. Bye-bye, friends. And the monkey went, and the monkey also thought he is pretty smart. So he went very, very fast. He didn't pause. He was not mindful about what he was doing. And he started singing and dancing along his way. Awimbawe, 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 awimbawe. And the monkey reached the magical tree. And he asked, magical tree, magical tree. You remember what the rabbit asked? The same thing was asked by the monkey. Can you help me? Magical tree, what is your name? Can you help me? Magical tree, magical tree.
What is your name?
And that's when the magical tree said, oh, Wonka. And the monkey thought, what kind of a weird name is that? Anyway, I'll remember this because I'm the smartest kid in class 1A, you know. So I'm going to remember that. And anyway, my great grandfather was so smart that he has actually outfitted a crocodile. I don't know. And the magical tree said, oh, outwitted a crocodile. I know the story from Panchatantra, right? But that was your great grandfather, not you. So sometimes legacy doesn't work. You need to work hard towards your own wit. Okay, friend, I'm going to sleep. Bye. And the monkey thought, it's okay. People like this, they keep talking, you know. I know my stuff. I'm pretty smart. I don't need to practice. It's okay. I will remember. And I can be as fast as I can. So I will keep climbing and jumping from one tree to the other, from one tree to another, sometimes go running on the ground. I don't care anybody. And then he didn't take the same way. You remember that down the hill? He didn't take that way. So he went the other way. So that this time, when he needs to go up, he doesn't need to huff and puff. He can just go around. But you remember on that particular road, what was there? Anybody? Ha, you are right. We are talking about the ant hill, and the ant hill was right over there, standing tall. And the monkey, he was not practicing what he has learned. If he did, perhaps by the bites of the ant, he could have still remembered something. But he was once again dancing and singing and climbing and jumping. A wimbowie, a imbowie, a wimbowie, 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 a wimbowie. Do it. And all the ants, they started coming out from the anthill, and all of them started getting on the body of the monkey. They got on its hands, they even got on its tail, and they even got on its eyes and inside the nose and in the ear. And the monkey said, didn't you learn about COVID-19? You don't go near somebody, social distancing. Did you not learn? Aha! And the monkey was yelling and shouting. And he finally came back to the forest. everybody in the forest, everybody, all the animals right over there, they were waiting for this moment. Monkey, monkey, we have been fasting, you know, we have not been eating for a long time. Please tell us what is the name of the magical tree, because if you tell the name of the magical tree, then only it will rain. Monkey, 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 please share the name of the magical tree fast. And the monkey thought, uh, 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 I remember Hapukachopalia. Hapukachopalia. So all of them, they started telling. First one, Hapukachopalia. The second one, Hapukachopalia. The third one was the elephant who said, Hapukachopalia. But do you think it rained? Because it was not even the name of the magic tree. So then they decided, no more wasting of time. We will now call our king, king of the jungle. Do you know who is the king of the jungle? Leopard. Somebody says. Could be in some other forest, but here we know somebody else as the king of the forest. Somebody else can tell me who is the king of the forest? Panther. That's a good guess, but not really. Royal Bengal tiger. Wow, that's another nice one. But Royal Bengal tigers, I know you find them in Sundarban, and they are our national animal, but we don't call them the king of the jungle. The king of the jungle. Yes, you said it right. Yes, we are talking about the lion, and the lion was sleeping. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Who is calling me? Oh. And the lion roared. And whenever the lion heard about the story, whatever is happening in the forest, he said, off we go. And he decided to go through the path down the hill from the forest to the magical tree. He was once again very fast, very boasting, overconfident, not mindful at all, not concentrating on the stuff that he tries to do. And he kept singing and dancing, but in a very, very fast-paced way. Oh Wimbowe, 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 oh Wimbowe. And he reached the magical tree. And he asked, magical tree, yes, can you give me? What did he say? Yes, you remember, right? Magical tree, what is your name? The magical tree said, I know you are so smart, but these animals, they were not as smart as you. I know you remember. It was, oh, and the lion thought, oh, that's kind of weird. Anyway, I will remember that I am, after all, the king of the jungle. There is nobody smarter than me, you know. And my great grandmother, she has outwitted a mouse, a little mouse. So I am the, in the same family. So the same thing will happen to me. I'm very smart. I will remember things and I can outwit anybody. I'm smart. But the magical tree said, oh, I heard another version of that story from Panchatantra. It was not like that. You didn't outwit the mouse. So the lion thought, anyway, forget it. Let me go through my own way. And you know by now which was the way that he chose. Yes, the one with the anthill. And he went, and he didn't practice his stuff. So he came. Oh wimbowe, 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 oh wimbowe. Tui, 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 tui. All the ants, they started coming out of the anthill, and they came and they started coming and they climbed on the lion's body and they got onto its hands, its neck, its bum, and its chest, and its mouth, its eyes, and its ears, and also in lion's hair. Do you know what's lion's hair is called? The mane, right? And the lion shouted, and the lion came back to the forest. And everybody, all the animals in the jungle, they were all waiting for the lion to come back. The king of the jungle, and the king of the jungle must have brought good news. Rajaji, what is the name of the magical tree? Tell us. All of them asked. And the lion said, I remember, Colinoscopapita. Everybody said, quite a weird name, but let us say that. So the first one said, first time, can we repeat? Colinoscopapita. The second one said, Colinoscopapita. The third one said, it was always elephant, because elephant's memory is very, very good. So he repeated, Colinoscopapita. And all the animals, even after repeating for 3 times, they moved. What could happen? It's not raining and there's no other scope left. All of them got so tensed. And when they were about to leave, there was somebody very, very, very minuscule, very small, very trivial, came out from the ground. Can you guess who it was? Caterpillar. Wow, that's a very good guess. You are quite close. This one, let's see, who is that? It was an earthworm. And the earthworm was very, very gentle and walked very, very slowly. And it went down the hill to know the name of the magical tree. Nobody has any expectations from the earthworm, because anyway it's so slow. It walks so slowly and it doesn't also look intelligent, But the earthworm, he kept walking. He kept walking and walking and walking. And it finally reached the magical tree. And it asked, can you help me? Magical tree, what is your name? And the magical tree said, oh, and the earthworm thought, I know, I can remember this name, but why take a chance, Let me keep on repeating, let me keep on harping the same thing. Maybe I can harp this through a tune, which I can be singing all throughout my way. That way I will remember my things, That is the same way I also used to remember whatever was taught in my classroom during my school days. And even I do that right now when I have become a story consultant. I remember my stories that way because it's very, very helpful. Whatever you learn, practice it right then and there. So the earthworm didn't boast on that. The earthworm thought, You know, I have heard about this story which my grandmother said, and she said about the hare and the tortoise, where slow and steady wins the race. So I know they are in trouble, but I also need to be mindful. I also need to walk slowly, not very fast. Just be mindful, concentrate on what am I doing. I will be there. Maybe later, but I will be there. So the earthworm took the same way. You remember? Yes, the one with the anthill, right? And the earthworm started walking towards the anthill. But he was so mindful that when he walked to the anthill, it saw the anthill and it bypassed the anthill. It didn't even go and encounter with the anthill. And it walked, and the anthill also vanished because it was left far behind. And finally, even though very slowly, he finally came back to the forest. And all the animals in the jungle, in the forest, they were all waiting, holding their hearts in their hands. And they said, what is the news that you have got? What is the name of the magical tree? Can you share with us? We all are waiting and there's no water. We all want to drink water. We all want to eat some fruits and veggies, you know. So he said, I remember, because I have been practicing it all through the way. Avangalima. Do you know how? Should we do that once? Would you like to sing with us? Right? Let's go. How the earthworm remembered the tune. Avangalima. Avangalima. Avangali. Avangali. Avangalima. 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 Avangali, Avangali, Avangalima. And that's how I remember the name. I will tell you what is the name. And he said the name. And all of them repeated 3 times. Avangalima. And some other said, Avangalima, Avangalima, Avangalima. And all of them were so happy because you have guessed it right. It started drizzling, pit-patting. Finally, it started raining cats and dogs, and all the vines and the little bushes and the plants and the short trees and the long ones, all of them became greener, and the flowers, they started blooming, and sprouts started popping out from the ground, and there were luscious and juicy and pulpy fruits in the trees, and the herbivores ate those trees, ate those fruits, and yeah, they can't eat the trees. You know, I told you I'm forgetful while telling the story. Anyway, so herbivores, they ate the fruits, and they became fatter, and they were eaten by the carnivores, and everybody in the forest, they were so happy. They all started singing and dancing and singing and dancing. How? Awangalima, Awangalima, Awangali, Awangali, Awangalima. Yes. So that was my story that I heard for the first time from one of my storytelling gurus called Roger Jenkins. And this story, whenever I tell face to face, it's so different. But right now, I decided, okay, why not bring puppets to my little friends? So, my little friends, would you like to create rain with me? Are we ready? So now we will use a technique which is known as body percussion, right? So do you know what percussion is? Percussion is kind of music that you make by beating something, right? Not a string instrument, but a percussion, like for example, tabla or drums or maybe zembe, many of them. So now we will be using our body as body percussion to make some rhythm, make some music, right? So off we go. Take your left hand, take your right hand, and I will use one after the other, more fingers to create more like raindrops from drizzling, from to pig patting, to cats and dogs, different levels of rain. And see, let's see if we can recreate rain together, right? So if you have parents around, also call them. If you have like your siblings around, also call them. You can together create rain, right? So take your left hand and you have your right hand, take the index finger, and you can increase gradually like this. Okay, let's go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And sometimes you can also stump your thigh. And now, finally, we have to bring the rain to a closure. It has rained for a long, long time. And the animals in the jungle are so happy that finally the rain is coming to close. So 4 fingers. 3. 4. Wow. That was quite a thing, right? I totally enjoyed telling the story with you all. So if you have enjoyed the story, listening to the story, let Golpodidi Priyanka know what was your favorite moment from the story. What really stayed back with you? Any image? Is it the image where all of them were starving in the rainforest and they were really looking for rain and it was not raining, everything has dried up? Or is it the scene where the rabbit was going and the rabbit has met the magical tree? Or is it when the monkey was climbing and jumping from one tree to the other? Or is it when they kept encountering with the anthill? Or is it when the lion woke up from sleep? Or is it when there was this little earthworm who came and who solved the problem? And is it when it actually rained and everything came to a full bloom and everybody was happy in the forest? Whichever it is, you can write about the scene and you can also draw it, illustrate it, right? And you can send that to Golpodidi at schoolsupport@harpercollins.co.in. I will repeat, the email ID is schoolsupport@harpercollins.co.in. It will directly reach to the heart of Golpodidi, and Golpodidi will be waiting for you. Right? So are you ready for the next story? If yes, I will maybe do something special for you. So this time we are going with Harold. Harold is a very, very special person. Harold is one of my favorite characters created by Crockett Johnson. One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. And wherever Harold went, did I tell you that Harold will always carry his crayon along with him? Can you see the crayon? Aha. Do you also use crayons to create some art? Yeah. Today you can, do the same with your parents. Maybe you call them and you create a collaborative art, right? You call your mama, you call your papa, you call your brother or sister, and together on a piece of paper, you create an art piece together. That would be fun. And if we can do that, we can show that to Harold, because Harold really loves drawing. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight. But he needed something to walk on, right? So he made a long straight path so he wouldn't get lost. And he set off on his walk, taking his big crayon with him. Can you see Harold's crayon? Yes. Which hand Harold is holding it? Yes, right. Harold is holding it in the right hand. So Harold is a righty. And if you hold your crayon in the left hand and you feel more comfortable drawing in the left hand, you are a lefty. Some people feel comfortable with both the hands. So they are ambidextrous, which is also lovely. We all have our own styles, right? But Harold kept walking and kept drawing. He didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long straight path. So he left the path for a shortcut across a field. And the moon went with him. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. A forest, just like the forest we have been. Is it the Amazon? Or is it the rainforest from Indonesia? Or is it the rainforest in Andaman and Nicobar? Or maybe somewhere else, I don't know. But he didn't want to get lost in the woods. So he made a very, very small forest. Can you tell me how small a forest can be? Right, somebody said a forest that has only one tree. Ha ha ha. That's what Harold drew. He made a very, very small forest with just one tree in it. It turned out to be an apple tree. Aha, I love apples. And I for the first time, I plucked apples from Manali in Himachal Pradesh when I was in class 6. It was an amazing experience. Have you ever plucked up an apple? Yeah, that is quite a nice experience. Let me know whenever you do. The apples would be very, very tasty. Harold thought when they got red. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. Frightening dragon, can you see? But where are the dragon's eyes? Is it a blind dragon? What do you think? Harold looks like he's still drawing. It even frightened Harold. Can you see? Can you see Harold's eyes? How scared Harold is looking like? And Harold started backing away. And it was such a frightening dragon that it even frightened its own creator. Have you heard something called a Frankenstein? If you have not, ask for the story from your mom and pop, right? Maybe it can be a little softened, but it's a fantabulous story to know. Over here also, dragon has actually scared its own creator, Harold. And Harold's hand holding the purple crayon, it shook. What is happening? Is the dragon going to attack me? Suddenly he realized what was happening. But by then, Harold was over his head in an ocean. Oh my God, am I drowning? Somebody help me. But very, very quickly, he came up thinking very fast. And in no time, he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. Have you ever drawn a boat, or have you ever made an origami boat, a paper boat? Yeah, if you have not tried, that's the one of the origamis that is really, really close to my heart. But what happened to Harold? Do you think Harold could climb on the boat, or does he once again fall down in the ocean? And what will happen if Harold falls down in the ocean? Is he going to be eaten by the sharks? Is it going to be eaten by the whales? I don't know. Let's see. No, wow. It looks like Harold has already come aboard successfully inside the boat. And he quickly set sail. And who can forget the moon? Ah, What a relief. Harold finally laid down inside the boat. No pillows, no bed sheet, but he was so tired. That little corner in the boat, that gave him so much relief. But it had been quite long in the boat. You know, what is that thing called when you sail for a long time in the ocean? Generally, in the ships, it happens. It's called sea sickness when you sail for a long time. Because what happens is continuously the waves go up and down, up and down, up and down. And Harold was not feeling comfortable anymore. So he decided, I said, long enough, I will make some land. Without much trouble, I know how to draw well. He stepped ashore on the beach, wondering where he was. Let us guess where Harold was. So this was sandy beach, and this beach had white sand on it. Can you guess which beach I'm talking about? Which beach Harold was on? Maybe it's my favorite beach in Oahu, Honolulu, Hawaii. Or it can be over there, I snorkeled for the first time. Or it can be even Langkawi Beach in Malaysia. Over there, I scuba dived for the first time. So, or it can be even Ross and Smith Island, in Andaman Nicobar. So it can be any beach. Have you ever been to a beach? Or it can be even Digha or Mandarmani, which is very near to Kolkata, where I belong. Which beach did you say? Goa, bingo. Yeah, Goa is also my favorite, right? So I don't know. We have to ask Harold, right? So I will ask Harold which beach it was and maybe get back to you. And if you have an answer, get back to me, which beach Harold was on. But this sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics. And the thought of picnics made him hungry. I'm feeling so hungry, Harold thought. What could I do? For a picnic, I need a picnic mat. Have you ever been to picnics? You know, one of my favorite times in the year, it's the winter, because during winter we all go to picnic and we carry our picnic baskets and we take our badminton along with us, badminton rackets and the cork, and we also carry oranges. And just after the lunch, 1 hour after the lunch, we will peel off the oranges, and it's such a unique thing that I still remember. Let Golpodidi know what is your unique experience about picnics, right? I would love to know that. And Harold let out a nice, simple picnic lunch. Very simple, because nowadays there's this talk going on, because a lot of people, they are not able to eat anything. Very like a lot of scarcity of food. They're getting scanty amount of food and beverages, or oil, or so for thinking of them, we should really think about what we are eating, how much are we consuming. And Harold thought about all this, because Harold was a child who was very mature, who would not only think about himself, but rather think about everybody. So Harold drew a picnic mat, and he drew the pie. There was nothing but pie, but suddenly the little child in Harold once again popped out rather, and Harold kept drawing pies. Little did he remember, whenever he draws something, immediately it comes alive, because it's a magic crayon. And I'm sure you also have magic crayons with you. Search in your bags, and you will find one, I'm sure. And Harold, he didn't want to waste food, but still he kept drawing, because he just liked drawing pies. Pies happened to be his favorite food. And there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold liked the best. How many kinds of pie? Sorry, can we all count? Yes. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9. Bingo. So there was 9 different kinds of pies. There were, what is your favorite kind of pie? I will tell you what is Golpodidi's favorite. My favorite is apple pie. You remember the apple tree that Harold has drew? Like that, my favorite is apple pie. And also, I like a lot strawberry pie and blackberry pie and blueberry pie and mud pie. And mud pie is actually not a pie. Yeah, anyhow, anyway. So can you tell me, I have named 4 kind of pies maybe. Do you know any other kind of pie? Please, 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 please enrich me. Okay, let me know what other kind of pies. But Harold was eating these pies, and Harold finished his picnic. There was quite a lot left. Acha, can you tell me what is the difference in this picture and this picture? How do you know that Harold has actually eaten the pie? Let us once again go back to this picture. Look at the pies very carefully. There are 9 pies. And let us also count once again over here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9. So there are 9 pies till now. Then how come I'm saying that it's already eaten? You are right, yes. Because you can see there's a triangular portion in each of these pies, which means Harold has eaten all different 9 kind of pies. Right? You're very smart. I'm so glad you came to listen to me. And what happened next? He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. So he started drawing somebody who can actually eat this pie, you know. Can you draw? Can you see somebody being drawn here? Some animal. Which animal does it look like? Somebody says camel. Could be. But are we in a desert? We are in a beach, right? Yeah, sometimes even on beaches you can find camels, but it's not a camel. Can you guess next? Goat. Could be, but goat has horns, no? This has ears. Could be cow. Yeah, goats also have ears. Yeah, you said it right, but I can't see the horns, so I think it's not a goat. And neither it is a cow, because cows also have horns and ears. So let us see what this is. Tantana! This was a moose. So Harold left a very hungry moose to finish it up. And Harold also left someone else, someone who looked super cute over here, who was also there, created by Harold, waiting to finish up the leftover pies. Can you see the other animal? Yeah, the cute one at the bottom, that's right. What is this animal called? No, it's not a hedgehog. Porcupine, you are very right. Yes, porcupine. So how many quills does the porcupine have? Over here, there are 7 quills. You are right. But my question is, how many quills the porcupine has? It's 30,000 quills. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 7. 30,000 quills. So better beware whenever there's a porcupine around, right? And what happened next? Off Harold went, looking for a hill to climb, to see where he was. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the further he could see. So he decided to make the hill into a mountain. But I forgot what happened in the story after this. Sunona! Sunona! Can you help me with Kahuna, please? Now I remember the story. Thank you so much. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the further he could see. So he decided to make the hill into a mountain. So what is the difference between a hill and a mountain? Like, for example, I am a Bengali, we call it pahar and porbot, right? So can you let me know what is the difference between a hill and a mountain? And what do you call hill and mountain in your own language, right? But let's go back to Harold because he's still waiting for us. If Harold went high enough, he thought, he could see the window of his bedroom. He was tired and he felt he ought to be going to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. But as he looked down over the other side, he slipped and there wasn't any other side of the mountain. He was falling. He was falling in thin air. But luckily, he kept his wits and his purple crayon. He made a balloon and he grabbed onto it. And can you guess what Harold is going to make next? He made a basket under the balloon big enough to stand in. He had a fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see his house. So, can you see what he is doing? Because he couldn't see his house, he made a house, that too with windows. And he landed the balloon on the grass in the front yard of the house. None of the windows was his window. He tried to think where his window ought to be. This is not his window. So he made some more windows. He made a big building full of windows. Do you think it's pretty dangerous to walk like this? Have you ever seen any Martian walking like this in the big buildings? What do they use? Do they use ladders? Do they use lift, elevator? What do they use? And is it not dangerous working like this? Harold, you need to watch out. Be safe. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. Wow. But none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think where it might be. He decided to ask, I will not tell you. You have to tell me. Whom did he ask? What would you do if you feel lost like this? Whom would you ask? Let's see whom Harold asked. He decided to ask, can you guess who he is going to draw? Is it a doctor? Is it a lawyer? Is it a teacher? Yes, you guessed it right. He drew a policeman and the policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway. But Harold thanked him. And he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room and in bed. Then suddenly Harold remembered. Wow, yes, he remembered his window. He remembered his bedroom window, which was there when there was a moon. It was always right around the moon. Then Harold made his bed. After such a long day, he got in it and he drew up the covers. The purple crayon dropped on the floor and Harold dropped off to sleep. Thank you so much listening to me and even helping me while telling the story, because I almost forgot my story and I didn't know how to go ahead. So you really helped me with your kahona. Thank you so much. Golpodidi is so honored to have you right here. So tell me, friends, when we are talking about Harold, who is having a purple crayon, and this is not only the story, you know, the storybook is called Harold and Purple Crayons. And he has been there for many years, right? And it happens to be one of my favorite. Harold has a whole series, and he sometimes goes under the water, he sometimes goes on the sky. I don't know where else. You need to figure it out. But it's my favorite. And sometimes what I do, I also draw and tell the Harold story. So if you, yes, I'm talking to you, if you had a magic crayon like Harold had, what are the things that you are going to draw? What are the things that you can't wait to come alive? Let Golpodidi know. Create that. You can write it down. If you can't write it down, even if you can write down, it's always nice to draw, just because Harold has drawn it. He has made things come alive. So I would like to know, Golpodidi wants to know, what are the things that you are going to draw when you have a magic crayon? And draw it. You can even write something down and send it to Golpodidi at schoolsupport@harpercollins.co.in. I repeat, schoolsupport@harpercollins.co.in. And I'm sorry, but somebody wants to come. Should I allow him? Hello, everybody. I am so sorry I was not there and I missed the entire session. You know, I feel ashamed because I was not wearing anything. But I will tell you stories next time. And I hope you didn't like Golpodidi's stories much, because I am the best storyteller in the whole world. Okay, Timmy, go away. Ha! I know Timmy is a good storyteller, but I hope you enjoyed Golpodidi's story. So Golpodidi Priyanka will come back to you maybe really soon. Until then, let Golpodidi know what were your favorite moments from the Awangalima, the magical tree story, and what are you going to draw? What you are going to make come alive if you have a magical crayon like Harold did. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to me. Bye from Golpodidi Priyanka.